going to be doing a bit of an unboxing and review on the Diwina e-bike. I was shopping for an e-bike recently and looking at all the specs and everything. The Diwina seemed to be the best option, but I really couldn't find much on it as far as reviews from people that have purchased it, so I figured I would post one of my own, so if anyone else is shopping for one, they can see what it is and what it's like. In comparison, I've got two e-bikes that we purchased recently. One is the EU bike, and the other one is the Gugo IS, which is basically the same thing as the Ridstar or Ridestar of the same configuration. I ordered this bike on, I think, a Friday afternoon, shipped on Monday, and it arrived on Wednesday. So basically 2-day shipping time. I'm in Los Angeles area, so I believe they're also in Southern California. It seems to come very well packaged and protected from the factory. We'll get it out of the box here and see what it looks like. Okay, so here it is out of the box. Again, very well packaged and protected. Just on first glance, this is definitely a much bigger, beefier setup than the other two e-bikes. Price point, this e-bike was $1,300. These other two e-bikes were about $800. So kind of a different class of bike. Looking at the hub motor, I believe this is a 1500 watt nominal and 4000 or 5000 watt peak, compared to on these other bikes. These are, I think, 750 nominal, 1500 watt peak, so significantly more power. Also, much beefier suspension. You've got a triple cam fork and much bigger, beefier rear shock. Do a side comparison later. All right, so we're nearly put together here, and I thought I'd take a second just to show a couple things here. So there's a protective plate here that on the photos, I was trying to tell if this was like a two-piece connection of the frame, but it's really just a protector shield for the battery so that when the battery's installed. While I'm here, I'll also show one of the reasons why I chose this bike is because it is an aluminum frame. It's aluminum construction. I'm near the beach, so I figured that the aluminum would be better as far as holding up to the elements, but it also significantly reduces the weight of the bike. So comparing this bike to some of the other bikes in the same class, this bike is claimed to be 90 pounds compared to the other bikes I was looking at were 110, 120 pounds. So you're talking about a 25-30% weight reduction in this bike compared to some of the others that were around the same price point and same power. But essentially, for power to weight ratio, you'd need 25 to 30% more power to compensate for that 20 to 35% difference in weight. All right, so do a little side-by-side comparison here of the two bikes. You can see kind of the shock difference between the size of a shock like that and the size of a shock like this. This is also an air shock. It has a little air nipple up there to add air. And to compare, this was the stock shock on the other bike compared to the stock shock on this Diwina bike. Comparing the hub sizes for the hub motors, you can see this one and this one is about 2 inches bigger diameter, much bigger hub motor for sure. The disc brakes are larger, both front and rear. They're hydraulic versus cable. It came with aluminum pedals instead of plastic pedals. What else? As I mentioned before, aluminum frame. The bike is significantly lighter weight. I think even though this bike's got a bigger hub motor and a bigger battery, it's actually lighter overall by about 5 pounds than this EU bike or the Gugo is, which again is like the Ridestar. Triple crown front shocks, again larger hydraulic brakes in the front compared to the lighter weight cable actuated type of brake. All right, so I just took this guy for its first little spin down the block. My first impressions are way nicer ride, big improvement in the quality of the suspension compared to these less expensive bikes. It actually has some damping to the shock, and just overall, the ride, it feels more like an electric motorcycle, the ride. It gets up to speed a lot faster. It's not a monster on torque, so it's not like it's just gonna pop a wheelie on you, but as it accelerates, it does get up to speed much faster. So I will do a riding demo in a little bit. On the swing arm, there's also mounting holes for foot pegs. So I was able to find on Amazon some foot pegs that do mount properly on here. I'll take a picture of the listing as well. All right, so if you're wondering if the upgrade to the Diwina is worth it compared to these less expensive bikes, if you're talking about bang for the buck, what you get for the money, I'd say absolutely yes. You get a lighter weight, rust-proof aluminum frame, you get nicer, plusher suspension, you get a bigger electric motor, 60 amp versus 48 amp, power delivery, triple crown fork, hydraulic brakes. I mean, you just get so much more on the bike for that additional $500. Now, is it the right bike for everyone? No, it can go 50 miles an hour. So if you have a youth rider who's never ridden much or experienced much of that type of riding, I think the other less expensive bikes are perfect. I've got younger daughters that this is their first e-bike. I wouldn't want them on the Diwina right out of the gate. The other bikes are right up their alley. So it depends on who it's for, but if you're an adult or an experienced rider, then definitely the upgrade is worth it.